Jets had to beat the Dolphins.
Yep.
And the Broncos needed to lose to the Chiefs backup. So let's start with that game. That it didn't happen. So they end up getting 9 out of 10 here. Denver destroys the Chiefs backups.
Yep.
And in this wasn't like the Rams mostly rested. Like Jared Verse played a few snaps and Kobe Turner played a few snaps. The Chiefs rested every possible player that they could, and Denver took it to them 38-0 to solidify the number 7 seed. So Denver's going to Buffalo next week. They get the 7. Their win effectively eliminated it. It eliminated Cincinnati and eliminated the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins eliminated themselves with their own loss.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Like, literally everything that needed to happen for Cincinnati to make the playoffs happened except for Denver against the Kansas City backups.
And Denver's a deserving playoff team, right?
Right.
You've said for a while, if the Chiefs got the 2 seed, is that the worst possible first-round matchup as a 7 versus 2,
Yeah, it's
right?
crazy. Like, I like Denver being in there, and I like the matchup. I like the Chargers being in there if I like the matchup. If I everyone sort of talks about, oh, look, the Vikings now have to travel on the road. How do you overhaul the system? Like, what's the fix, right? If you were making a fix, the team that you would remove from the playoffs to put Cincinnati in would be either Pittsburgh or Houston. Like, it wouldn't be the other 2 wild card spots. It would be like, which one of those teams do we want to get rid of to get the Bengals into this, to have like the best, quote unquote, like the most sort of deserving
if the
team
playoff
on form.
committee was putting the best 7 in there. Yeah.
So like, that's the fix, right? It's like the Texans right now are going to get wrecked. They're going to be one and done. They look terrible. Let's bump them and put Cincinnati in.
Bo Nix with an unbelievable game statistically, 26 of 29 for 321. That's over 11 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Threw 2 touchdowns to Marvin Mims, 1 to Cortland Sutton, 1 to Vele as well, capping off a nice rookie
ridiculous
season.
Play. Like ricocheting.
That was the multiple tips and all that stuff. That's why I don't know what, there's a little luck in there for Bo Nix. But yeah, Denver, Bo Nix also led the team with 47 yards on the ground. And then if you want to explain some of the rugby physics he had a really long run, and then he was excited. He was feeling it. He's like, I'm going to pitch it backwards, right? Because obviously you can't pitch it forwards, but, physics exists.
He tried the lateral play, the rugby play that I keep, advocating for, right? You're in the open field. You got a guy outside you. Use the overlap. Use the 2-on-1. Pitch it outside. Get extra yards. Now, where the NFL is slightly different to rugby is that the NFL uses like an absolute line for forward pass, right? So if it travels forward at all physically on the field, it's a forward pass. Rugby basically says if it's traveling directionally backwards between the 2 players, it's a backward pass, even if it travels forwards on the field, right?
And ideally, you would want that to happen because you're more momentum and you're gaining a couple yards.
So it's easier to do in rugby than it is in the NFL with the rules.
Yeah.
But the mechanics of a rugby pass will send it backwards, whereas the option mechanics that Bo Nix used kind of tend to pitch it forwards, right? So if he's using his left hand to pitch it backwards, it's going to go backwards out of his hand.
Has to.
And it's legal. Instead, the option mechanics thing, you're just pitching it wildly, and it was a forward pass.
High elbows, option run, high elbow run. That's
so he did that one, and then somebody else did one as well, right? And the same thing, it was forward. Only that one, I don't think it was even forward. It was just a back.
I don't even know what they called because we didn't have audio in every game,
right.
So I couldn't get to it.
I think they called it forward. I don't think it was.
Anyway, that felt like the most exciting thing. Carson Wentz got the start for the Chiefs, but he barely played any football. They only ran 33 plays for 98 yards. It wasn't just Wentz. It was
backup offensive lineman.
DJ Humphries comes back off the hamstring. He couldn't block anybody. Kingsley Suamataia is a tackle. He's playing guard. The Chiefs benched every starting offensive lineman, every significant pass catcher, and every significant defensive starter that they could. So when Bill Belichick goes out there on McAfee and he's like, how do you bench everybody? Well, the Chiefs somehow found a way to do it, and they did. So they fall to 15-2. They do not tie the record for most regular season wins.
True.
So they're at 15-2. Broncos 10-7. Number 7 seed going to Buffalo.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.